He's so cute. Hey, cutie. Hey,
How you doing? You having a
got
good
your
day?
robo?
He slept good?
Yeah, he did.
Ooh,
Well, he went to sleep like it too.
Did drop turkey?
Yeah.
So what you think? You think it's an issue with the milk or?
Maybe because they just switched the caramel to the
You can talk to me. Until then, ain't nothing going. Call who you need to call, do what you need to do. Ain't nothing happening. No money, no beers.
Crazy. When I wake up. God damn. Snap back and get right.
Bro, what do you be looking at, bro? What you be looking at? Hey. You falling over, kid.
T.I. just might have shattered whatever was left of his bond with his son, King Harris. Because this time, he didn't just lecture him, he went straight for the jugular in court, filing for custody of his grandson, Little King Jr. Imagine your own father serving you legal papers, basically announcing to the whole world that you're unfit to raise your own child. T.I.'s case is simple but brutal. He says King ain't built for fatherhood, just like he warned months ago. According to him, King is too reckless, unstable, unpredictable, and every wild move he makes is putting that baby in danger. T.I. ain't about to sit back and watch his son spiral out while dragging an innocent child into the chaos. But the real question is, will King fight back against his pops in court, or will he crumble under the pressure and lose his son for good? This custody war didn't just pop out of thin air, it's been bubbling in silence for weeks before finally exploding across the internet. People had already been whispering about drama inside the Harris household, but nobody thought it would come to this. Then, boom, court documents leaked, and they showed T.I. himself had filed against his own son. And it wasn't even just lawyers moving pieces behind the scenes. Reports say T.I. personally sat down and wrote to the judge, flat out calling King unfit to be a parent. That single move flipped the whole script. I wasn't just saying his son needed guidance, he was labeling him a danger to his own child. And that cut King deeper than any diss track ever could. The moment those papers leaked, King snapped. He stormed over to T.Y. and Tiny's house, grabbed his son, and dipped like something straight out of a movie. Once he got far enough, King picked up the phone and went off on his father, pouring out all the pain, rage, and betrayal he felt. He told him he felt humiliated, stabbed in the back by the very man who was supposed to protect him. This wasn't just family drama, this was heartbreak turned into all-out war. And that moment right there flipped the Harris family drama into an all-out war. But this is where things get even uglier. Because if you've ever seen the bond between King and Little Jr., you'd understand why he exploded like that. For all the chaos King brings, one thing is real. His face lights up when it comes to his son. From the moment his baby mama Yaya announced the pregnancy, people thought he'd run off. His history was reckless, his lifestyle messy, and everybody assumed he'd crash out instead of step up. But shockingly, King embraced fatherhood head-on. When Junior was born, King looked like a whole new man. Posting nonstop, writing songs, dropping captions like he'd finally found his purpose. For a second, it really felt like fatherhood might save him. But those old habits, they don't just vanish. And soon, King's downfall came knocking hard, with that infamous arrest that shook the whole city. This wasn't just some wild night gone wrong. This was the moment that nearly dragged the Harris family name straight through the mud. King didn't just get pulled over, he was driving reckless, almost slamming his BMW right into a police car at a gas station. That single move put his whole future on the line. And when cops smelled weed, found a gun tucked in his waistband, and ran his name through the system, it got way worse. What popped up wasn't light. An old warrant from back in 2022 for overspeeding, DUI, and a suspended license. He'd been ducking it like it would disappear, but there was no escaping this time. When the cuffs went on, the cameras caught every second, and the look on King's face said it all. That wasn't just fear, that was raw regret, the cold realization that he might be about to lose way more than just his freedom. At this point, it's clear, King might not just lose his freedom, he could lose his son too. Even the arresting officer said King was acting strangely calm. Not like someone in control, but like a man who finally realized he'd crossed a line he couldn't step back from. And when I showed up to bail him out, the silence was louder than any shouting. The anger wasn't explosive, it was the disappointment that cut the deepest. This wasn't just a superstar dad bailing out his famous son, this was a father watching history repeat itself, realizing his child was walking down the same dangerous road he once walked, and now with an innocent baby caught in the middle. I had been warning King for years that this was coming. Back in 2022, when King started going viral for his wild stunts, T.I. went public begging him to slow down. He told his son, his son's mother, even the grandmother, keep an eye on him because I know where this lifestyle ends, jail or worse. And this wasn't just talk. I lived that same life, paid the price, and wanted better for his kids. But King brushed it all off, kept flexing, kept wilding, and now here they are. Courtrooms, custody battles, and a family feud spilling all over the internet. One of the first cracks in King's image came during that infamous Waffle House meltdown. Sounds small, but it told the world everything. His temper and his entitlement were out of control. All over a pickle on his sandwich, he blew up, screaming at staff, threatening jobs, flashing cash, and recording the whole thing like it was some badge of honor. But the internet wasn't buying it. Instead of clout, King got labeled a spoiled brat who had zero respect for working folks. And worse, it embarrassed his parents. Their names got dragged through the mud, their parenting called into question, and I was left shaking his head because this wasn't the image of a young man building a legacy. This was his son glamorizing chaos, and that's the cut that stung T.I. the most. Because here's the truth. King wasn't raised in struggle. He never had to wake up with roaches crawling on the wall, never had to wonder if he'd eat that night. I gave him everything. Comfort, safety, opportunity. The very things he himself never had. Yet King walks around parading like he's some street-bred hustler, desperate to prove toughness he never had to earn. That constant tension between father and son finally boiled over in public, at an Atlanta Falcons game, no less. What started as a little back and forth exploded fast when King told his father he didn't grow up with a silver spoon. That single line lit a fire in T.E. To him, it wasn't just disrespect. It was a slap in the face, a denial of everything he sacrificed to give his kids better. And he let King know right there in front of everybody. You never had to wake up with roaches on your face. You never had to wonder if you'd eat. But King clapped back, saying he grew up at his grandma's in a rough neighborhood. And suddenly, two realities were colliding. T.I.'s memory of providing versus King's claim of struggle.
This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File show.
Come back.
What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. Now I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here.
Yeah.
So what you think it's an issue with the milk or?
Maybe because they just switched the caramel to the...
Get your robo!
The argument spiraled, turned physical, and went viral. What the world witnessed wasn't just father versus son. It was years of tension exploding in one stadium. That Falcons game showdown made one thing crystal clear. If they were fighting like that in front of thousands, imagine the battles happening behind closed doors. Fans in the comments didn't hold back for a second. They were clowning King, dropping lines like, "The fact he thinks he came up in the streets is hilarious." Others wrote, "He only gets passes because of his parents. Go survive out there without them and see what happens." Those comments racked up hundreds of likes because they summed up how the world really sees him. Privileged, out of touch, and obsessed with proving he's something he's not. To a lot of people, it feels like watching someone with every opportunity in the world throw it all away, chasing a lifestyle that doesn't even want him. And truth is, King had the perfect chance to flip it around. With a baby on the way, that was his moment to clean up, mature, and step into real responsibility. But instead of leveling up, he doubled down. Still posting wild videos, still flashing guns, still acting like he was untouchable, chasing the wrong kind of validation. That's when T.I. knew his son was headed straight toward disaster, and it got so bad that even other celebrity fathers had to step in. Remember when Boosie and T.I. had to check their boys, King and Boosie's son Tootie Raw, after they filmed a music video flaunting guns like they were extras in a trap film? Both dads stepped in fast, scolding them right there on camera. And this time, T.I. wasn't laughing or brushing it off. His face was stone-cold disappointment. He straight up asked King why he cared more about looking gangster than living life, with money, women, and opportunities all around him. He warned him clear as day. Guns and flexing only led one place: jail. And you could hear it in T.I.'s voice, that weight of a father who's lived that same life and paid the price. But King wasn't listening. He ignored every warning and then turned around and proved his dad right by getting arrested not long after. That moment was the breaking point for T.I., because now it wasn't about clout, Waffle House meltdowns, or music videos. This was about his son's life crashing in real time, with a baby caught in the middle. This was never just about King anymore. It was about an innocent child's future. Because if King can't even protect himself, how could anyone trust him to protect his own son? And what makes this story even crazier is the way T.I. and Tiny have stepped up for Little Junior. From the moment they found out they were about to be grandparents, they embraced that role fully. T.I. lit up talking about it on podcasts, made announcements like a proud dad all over again, and every clip of him holding Junior goes viral instantly. Fans flood the comments with takes like, T.I. looks more invested in that baby than King does. And honestly, that hits hard, because for T.I., this battle isn't just about disciplining his son, it's about saving an innocent life from falling victim to bad choices. When you zoom out, the custody fight actually makes sense from T.I.'s perspective. This is a man who clawed his way out of the streets, survived prison time, beat charges, and built a legacy from scratch. And now he's watching his own son play with fire, glamorizing the same lifestyle he nearly lost everything to. For T.I., it feels like deja vu, but worse, because this time, there's a baby at stake. Taking custody isn't about power. It's about breaking a generational curse before it locks in. Meanwhile, King's silence is screaming louder than any rant. He hasn't posted much, hasn't clapped back, hasn't hopped on live, and that's rare for him. Normally, he's quick to pour his feelings into a rant, a snippet, or some wild stream. But now, nothing. And that silence is dangerous. It could mean he's plotting a big comeback move, maybe gearing up to fight his dad in court, maybe ready to prove everyone wrong. Or it could mean he's already broken, too ashamed, too overwhelmed, too cornered to say a word. Either way, whatever King does next could change the entire Harris family story forever.
I know you. I know you.
Shut up. Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no mystery about here.
I know you though.
Man,
I know
get
you
your
know.
man.
I know you though.
Son, think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama? His ass going to prison.
But here's the bigger picture. This ain't just about one spoiled celebrity kid gone off track. King is a reflection of a pattern we've seen over and over again with kids of fame and privilege. They grow up in mansions, private schools, designer clothes, and still crave street credibility. They chase respect in environments they never had to survive in, desperate to prove toughness they never had to earn. And while regular folks might just roll their eyes, the truth is, this kind of mentality can destroy lives. Because the streets don't care who your daddy is. Once you start playing those games, there's no cheat code for celebrity kids. They can end up hurt, locked up, or worse, just like anybody else. And T.I. knows that. That's why he's moving on this custody case like it's life or death. Because in a way, it really is. If King spirals, Junior is the one who pays the price. And if Junior grows up without stability, the cycle repeats. And that's the nightmare T.I. is trying to kill before it cements into another Harris generation curse. But no matter how logical it sounds on paper, the emotional hit is brutal. Imagine your own father dragging you into court, calling you unfit, and basically telling the whole world you're a danger to your own child. For King, that isn't just legal drama, it's personal, it's betrayal, it's humiliation. And what stings even harder? Deep down, he probably knows some of it is true. That kind of wound, it doesn't heal quick, It cuts too deep. Money, fame, pride, and family legacy. They're all tangled in this messy war. And that's why people can't stop watching. Every leaked clip, every court update, every rumor feels like a brand new episode of a drama series, but this ain't scripted, this is real life. And what makes it so captivating is that we're watching one of hip-hop's most respected fathers desperately try to control a son who refuses to be controlled, all while an innocent baby is stuck in the crossfire. From the outside looking in, the Harris family looks perfect. Money, fame, opportunities that most people could only dream of. But behind the scenes, it's chaos, tension, betrayal, and a son who feels misunderstood, while a father feels stabbed in the back. And the wildest part, every second of this family meltdown is playing out in front of millions of eyes, with no pause button, no privacy, and no end in sight. Every meltdown, every arrest, every argument, it all gets dissected online, turning the Harris family's real-life pain into entertainment for millions of strangers. And that only makes things worse, because instead of working it out behind closed doors, every move King makes gets judged by fans, critics, and media blogs. For someone already unstable, that spotlight is like gasoline on a fire. King's whole persona exposes the clash between privilege and identity. On one hand, he's got it all: connections, money, and a family legacy that could open doors in music, business, even TV. But instead of leaning into that, he's out here chasing validation from the streets, trying to prove he's real. It's like he refuses to accept that his father fought tooth and nail to escape that same lifestyle so he wouldn't have to. And that contradiction keeps tearing at their bond. T. I tried to shield his son from the pain he once lived, but King sees that shield as something that stole his credibility. It's a generational clash, two realities that can't exist together, and the harder King pushes against that shield, the more reckless he becomes. From the Waffle House tantrum to flashing guns online, it's like he's desperate to show toughness. But every attempt just exposes immaturity instead. And that's why the internet clowns him nonstop. They see a privileged kid pretending to be something he's not. But for T.I., none of this is funny. To him, every stunt is proof that his son is barreling toward either handcuffs or tragedy, and that's why this custody fight feels like his last stand. A final attempt to slam the brakes before it's too late. But here's the twist. Beneath all the chaos, you can't deny that King truly loves his son. No matter how much he spirals, the videos and photos of him with Junior show raw happiness, a softer side that doesn't always shine through the drama. And that's what makes the situation so heartbreaking. It's not just scandal, it's a father and son locked in a battle that could decide the future of an entire bloodline. That's what makes this whole story so heartbreaking. It's not black and white. King isn't some cold villain who doesn't care. He's a young man stuck between ego, immaturity, and real responsibility. Deep down, he wants to be a father, but he hasn't fully grown out of his own teenage mindset, and that contradiction is eating him alive. And the worst part? I sees the collateral damage falling straight on little Junior's shoulders every time he talks about his grandson in interviews or on podcasts. You can hear the difference. T's voice lights up when he speaks on Junior. He calls him his pride, his joy, like it's a second shot at fatherhood. And fans notice too, flooding comments with takes like, T.I. seems more invested in that baby than King does. That comparison cuts deep because it paints King as careless, while his dad shines as the responsible one. For a son already battling an identity crisis, that's fuel for resentment. But from T.I.'s perspective, this isn't about competition. It's about protecting the one innocent life caught in the middle of this feud. And now everything hangs in limbo. King's silence has the internet speculating nonstop. Is he plotting a big comeback, ready to fight for custody and prove he can step into fatherhood? Or has he quietly accepted defeat, letting his dad take control while he tries to figure out his next move? That uncertainty keeps fans glued to every headline, every rumor, because one thing's clear: whatever King does next will shape not just his future, but the entire Harris family legacy. And here's the bigger warning: this ain't just King's story. It's a reflection of what happens when kids of fame and privilege try to play street games. The streets don't care about your last name. They don't care if your father's a rap legend or if your family's rich. Once you step into that world, you play by rules you can't bend. And there's no special treatment when it all goes wrong. Tut, I knows this better than anyone. That's why he's fighting so hard. For him, this custody battle isn't just legal paperwork. It's about saving his bloodline from the same cycle that's destroyed too many families already. But no matter how you slice it, one truth is clear: this story is far from over. Whether it's courtrooms, online rants, or messy family feuds, the Harris drama is still unfolding. And King, he still has one last chance to redeem himself, to step up, and prove he can be the father Little Jr. deserves. But if King keeps brushing off every warning, his whole story could crash into nothing more than another tragic tale of wasted potential. And for T.I., no matter how angry or disappointed he gets, he'll always carry the weight of knowing he tried everything to stop it. The world is locked in, the family is split down the middle, and the stakes, they've never been higher. This isn't just about custody, it's a battle over legacy, pride, and survival itself. And one thing is certain: no matter how this ends, the Harris name will never look the same again. So if you've been locked into this roller coaster and want to keep up as the drama keeps spilling, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, and share this with everyone. Because trust me, this saga isn't slowing down anytime soon. It's only getting wilder from here.